Hey guys, Simon Bryson here, and in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I plan to retire by age 27. But more importantly, I'm going to give you guys a step-by-step guide to actually get there. Also, whether you want to retire at 27, at 37, 47, or maybe at 50 or 65, it doesn't matter. But the point is to have financial freedom and retire knowing you have enough money so you never have to work again. That's the goal for this video, and I got inspired to make it by watching Nate O'Brien's video where he plans to retire by age 24, although I think that's like really soon, like crazy. However, for my video, my age is actually 27, and I'm gonna give you guys a step-by-step guide to actually get there also. And by the way guys, if you guys are new to my channel, I post it on the channel every single day, so make sure to also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you're notified every time I post a video. And on top of that, also destroy the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you guys so much. Okay, now the first thing is this, guys. Okay, when it comes to retirement, and I say retirement, a lot of the times people think that what I'm saying is something else, meaning that 9 out of 10 times people think like, hey, you're talking about never working again, traveling whenever you want to travel, and on top of that, probably becoming a monk. But the truth is, I don't want to become a monk, and I don't really want to travel a lot. And on top of that, I really do want to still work until like I'm 65 or until like I'm 80 or 90 years old. I never really plan on ever stop working. So when I actually think about retirement, my answer is 3 things that I want to focus on. And those 3 things are control, options, and also freedom. Those are the 3 things I actually choose to focus on. Now, let me explain, guys, okay? And by the way, while I'm telling you this stuff also, I want you guys to comment down below or write down somewhere in your journal or wherever you want to write things down on your iPhone, wherever it is. I want you to write down exactly your answers to why you also want to retire early and what that would actually do for you. Now, when it comes to, tell me, why do you want control? Control to me means, for example, when I was growing up, we had to move from country to country because my mom was searching for better opportunities for me. But at the time, I didn't really understand why we were moving so much. But in reality, at the time, I lived in a third world country, and the opportunities I would get there were not really going to be as many, for example, in America. So as a single mom, my mom did a great job at taking care of me and also my little sister and making sure we got the most opportunities as possible. But the point is, when it comes to control, what I want to do is control the direction my life is actually heading. I don't want to rely on anyone, in a sense, to actually control what I'm going to do or where I want to go. For example, okay, I realized when I was in college that, hey, although I won't have to be with my mom for the rest of my life, the idea is that if I only have one job, one source of income, I'm going to be reliant on one boss, one company, one income. And to me, that sounded like no control whatsoever. And if I lost that job, my boss was mad or just like an angry or mean person, the idea is I was always going to be miserable. So I wanted to make sure I had control over my life, and that was one of the things I wanted to focus on retirement for. The second thing is options. Now, options basically means I want to have the option to work with whoever I want to work, when I actually want to work, and how I actually want to work. Have you ever heard someone say, for example, I hate my job, and you tell them, hey, why don't you just quit? That's the solution, right? And they're like, hey, I can't quit because basically I have bills to pay. And I understand that. But having financial freedom means that, hey, if I don't want to work with this person or that person, I don't have to, because literally I have enough money to take care of myself and go somewhere else and work somewhere else, even if I have to take a little less pay. And those are the type of options that I actually want when it comes to retirement. And lastly is freedom. And freedom to me is a very corny thing. Because basically, if you have freedom and you're traveling all the time and you don't have to work anymore, in reality, it's kind of like dangerous because you're gonna get very bored very quickly. You don't know what to do. And then, you know, after like 3 months or 4 months of traveling back and forth, like, oh my gosh, I'm in Paris. You're gonna be like, okay, I'm tired of taking planes and traveling here and there. Everything gets boring, you know? So you have to have a purpose when it comes to freedom. And my freedom and my purpose is basically finance and teaching people finance. So what I want to have is the freedom to work on my purpose as much as I want to whenever I want to. And those are all the 3 things I want to focus on when it comes to retirement. However, when you're writing these things down, guys, okay, do me a favor and also bring them down to earth. Meaning that these 3 things right here are big picture things, okay? But I want you to also focus on, okay, what's the big picture? Is it control, options, or for example, you want to be able to go out there and have freedom. But I want you to think about also, what would this money actually do for me? For example, I want to buy computer parts. I want to buy the games I want to buy. If I want to go out there and have dinner at a restaurant, I want to do that. If I want to go traveling, I want to do that also. It's all about the real things in life is actually going to give you, not just, for example, the big picture stuff like, hey, freedom, control, options, that's all great, but what will this money do to you? And what can you actually buy? Can you take Ubers more often? Can you basically go out there and go for drinks with your friends? Can you travel more often? What exactly is this money going to do for you? Okay, so comment down below and let me know. And again, if you don't want to comment down below, put it on your iPhone or your journal. It doesn't matter. But the goal is, if you don't know why you want this amount of money for retirement, the answer is going to be very hard to work that hard for something you don't even know why you actually want it. Okay, so that's what I'm telling you. Comment or write it down somewhere else. Okay, now the same thing is this, guys, okay? Here is the math behind exactly how much money you're going to need to actually retire and how to actually get there. The first thing is this, guys, okay? Initially, when I had this thought in my head, I was around 19 years old and I was in college, and my professor told me, Tommy, you know, as an accountant, you're gonna make around like 40,000 to 60K for the first year. And I said to myself, wow, so it's gonna take me around 16 years to make my first $1 million. And I was like, wow, it's a long time. And on top of that, I thought for retirement, I would need around maybe $10 million, but in reality, that's not true. Like, not at all. Like, you don't need that much money, like one bit, because basically making, for example, 70K, after taxes, that would be like around $50,000. So in reality, in a whole lifetime of working, I'm only going to make around $2.2 million. So it can't be possible that I actually need around $10 million. It's so unrealistic, okay? But that's what I thought initially when I thought about this idea, but no longer though. So here's the math, and here's what we're going to focus on when it comes to retirement. 3 things here, okay, guys? Basically, how much money do you need? The expenses you need to cover, and on top of that, how long is it going to take you to actually invest and save up all of this money? The first thing is this, guys, okay? You have to write down on your book, and I have all my things down right here. You have to write down exactly all of your expenses for the entire year after you're done with retirement or while you're actually in retirement. And I recommend basically just sit down and write down all of your current expenses and just ask yourself, well, do I want to keep renting for the rest of my life, or do I want to buy a house? How much would I buy that house for? What would be the mortgage? And how would I actually pay for it every single month? If you don't know, oh, Tommy, what's the insurance? What's all this stuff? In reality, everything is online, and they have a whole bunch of calculators, and insurance give you free quotes on the house and the property, and that's about it, okay? All the information is out there. So when it comes to me, guys, okay, my first home that I plan to buy is going to be around $280,000. On top of that, I'm going to put down 20%, which is around $56,000. And that means that my mortgage payment is going to be around $1,069, and my insurance for the property, $100 a month. My property taxes, $266. On top of that, my utilities, like my light bill, my gas bill, all that stuff. Again, guys, you have to be very specific with this stuff, because basically, if you get one thing wrong, you might not be able to retire fast. So for that, that's around $250. Also, my food, $200. My car expenses, I plan on buying a used car and usually paying for cash for it, maybe like $8,000 or $12,000 like max, because I don't want to waste my money buying a very expensive car. So basically, my insurance will be like around $180. My gas will be like around $50. I'm not really driving around that often. And on top of that, the property might have a property fee, an HOA fee, that might be like around $20. So overall, my expenses to live in a house, pay for food, do all my bills would be around $2,135. And that's around $25,620 every single year. And again, write all this stuff down for you. Now, this is because I want to buy my own property. If I just wanted to rent, it would only cost me $1,000 or $1,200, and then boom, I can live there and not worry about anything else, because basically the landlord will have to worry about that. So again, buying a property is not for everyone. Now, on top of those bills, I also have to think about miscellaneous expenses. For example, $200 more just in case for like a gym membership or for example, like supplies for the house, stuff like that, like $20 a month. And also, one more thing that you probably thought I forgot, but I didn't, and that is health insurance, which might cost around $350 per month. But then again, my business would pay for it, so it'll be deductible, so I will find a way to save money on this in a sense. So the idea is that overall, combining all of my expenses, I am going to need a whopping $32,220 in income every single year. But that's not all, because I also need to have an emergency fund with basically at least 6 months worth of my expenses, which should be an account of around $16,110 in case, for example, my car breaks down, the house gets a leaky roof, whatever it is. I need to have 6 months worth of expenses in case anything happens, and that is called an emergency account. Do not skip out on this. I already have this account and I already have the down payment for my house, but again, I have all this stuff, but I'm not buying it just yet because right now I'm working on basically getting to that goal of making $32,000 every single year from my investments. Now, we have the expenses, all that I'm gonna cover right here, okay? However, let's talk about exactly how much money will you actually need for retirement if you want to be able to make $32,000 in income. By the way, for some of you guys, it might be 50,000, 70K, 100K, but for me, again, I don't really need that much money, like at all. Like, I just don't spend a lot of money. So in reality, here is some simple math when it comes to, tell me, how much money will you actually need in retirement to actually make it to this goal? Well, as you guys know, we might plan for the best, but we also usually get the worst. So instead of doing $32,000, let's do $40,000. And we're also going to use the 4% retirement rule, meaning that every single year, you're going to take out 4% from your retirement fund or your investment fund, okay? And take that money out and only use 4%. Now tell me why 4%? Because basically, according to the data and the research, it shows that by using the 4% rule, the odds of you running out of money are very slim, but if you do, it would take around 33 years, okay? And if you kept investing, you would never run out of money whatsoever, okay? So there you go. And by the way, like I said before, guys, I don't plan on ever quitting my job. So again, I don't really plan on stopping investing either. So I probably will never run out of money at all unless America doesn't exist anymore in like 30 to 40 years either, okay? So let's just put that out there. Now, the idea is this, guys. If I'm going to take around 4% from my portfolio every single year and I want to make $40,000 in income every single year, well, here's the math, guys, okay? Because basically, $40,000 in income, all you have to do is take your annual expenses and divide it by 4%, divided by just 4, not a percentage or anything like that, by 4, and you multiply it by 100. And that tells you exactly how much money you're going to need in retirement. In this case, it's $1 million. But then again, also remember the taxes and stuff like that. But again, I'm keeping the math simple here. So I would need $1 million in my portfolio to basically be able to retire using the 4% rule. If you don't believe me, just multiply it by 4% times 0.04, and that gives you $40,000, okay? So the math is 100% accurate. Just need to adjust it for the taxes here and there, but again, I want to keep this video very simple. Now, tell me, how long will it actually take you to get to this goal, okay? So far we have, for example, the expenses, the amount of money we're going to need, and on top of that, well, how long is it going to take me to actually get to $1 million portfolio? And it might be a long time, but my goal again is in 5 years, because right now I'm 23. In 5 years, I'll be 27. And by the way, I've been doing YouTube since I was around 12 years old. So by that time, I'll be doing it for around 15 years or so. And I've been working since I was 12 years old also, okay? So it's been a long time of work and hard work, okay? So let's do the math right now, okay? Now, I'm not going to give you some complicated formula. All you have to do is just go on Google, okay? And type in literally saving goals calculator. And there you go. Just type that in and click the link that says investor.gov. This is an official government website that helps you out with everything, okay? So click that one and then let's do the actual math, okay? Now this is going to be scary, but it's also going to be cool, and I want you guys to also play with these numbers right here. Now with my investment portfolio, guys, I earn around 8% on average according to 15 years worth of data. If you want to see my portfolio, I'm going to put a link down below to a video on that. That way you know exactly what I invest into, and it's mostly ETF and bonds. Now, On top of that, I get paid dividends of around 2.83%, and I also reinvest that. So overall, my total return for the year is around 10.83% on average. So let's do the math, guys, okay? Say, for example, my investment goal is $1 million. A lot of money, okay? On top of that, I'm going to start investing literally with $1, because again, you can't put zero, so you have to put $1 here. So when you're doing this calculation right here, you have to put at least $1. On top of that, I want to give this money at least 5 years to grow, because my goal is in 5 years. For you, it might be 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. And remember, okay, guys, you don't have to retire very early. It's not you don't have to do that at all, okay? But the point is, I want to have the option that if I wanted to, I could always do that. But again, I never plan on stopping work. And if you love your job, just make sure by the time you actually do retire, you have enough money to take care of yourself. So play with the numbers according to what your goals actually are. And on top of that, I'm expecting my interest rate, my growth, to be around 10.83% according to what I recently just told you guys. So overall, let's calculate this, okay? Overall, I'm going to need to invest every single month around $13,426 for 5 years to get to my goal of $1 million. Okay, now that is a ton of money, but what I usually do is this. Whenever I see a number this big, I go to my calculator and I put it in, okay, $13,460, and I divide it by the amount of days in a month, okay? Divided by 30 days, that's around $448 every single day, and then it's still pretty big. So then I divide it by 24 hours, because basically 24 hours in one day divided by 24, and that's only around $18.69. And then I said, like, well, what can I sell or what can I do to earn me $60 every single hour of the day? And that's where you start to get ideas, okay? Sometimes the number might seem big, but in actuality, all you need to do is basically cut the number down all the way and see exactly what you can do to actually earn that money. And just for an example here, guys, okay, let's try one more, okay? Let's say, for example, I wanted to get to my goal not in 5 years, but basically in 25 years, okay? Maybe when I'm, for example, like about to be 53 years old, something like that. So in actuality, if I did this, I would only have to invest around $747 every single month, and in literally 25 years, I would be a millionaire and have enough money to retire whenever I wanted to. Now, that's the point I'm making here, guys, okay? Basically, it all depends on what your goals are. So I want you to basically, here's your homework. Overall here, the last part of this video, I want you to write down exactly why you want to retire early, okay? Tell me that. Comment down below, write down in your journal. I want to know exactly why. If you don't have a why, it's going to be hard to sacrifice yourself and work this hard to get to this goal. Lastly, I want you to also write down your expenses for retirement, calculate them, and be specific. The more specific, the better you'll be off, okay? Also, do the math with a calculator and find out exactly how much money you're going to need and by what time it's actually going to take you to actually get there. Again, just go on Google and type in saving goal calculator and click the one that says .gov, and you'll see exactly how long it's going to take you, and play with the numbers, okay? That's the overall idea for this video, guys. But comment down below and let me know, did this video help you? And did it give you steps to actually get to your goal? And also tell me, by what age do you plan to retire? And also let me know, is that realistic according to the numbers you just calculated on your calculator right there, okay? Comment down below, let me know. And as always, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. And also, like this video. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you're notified in terms of video. On top of that, follow me on Untitled Bryson. And before I go, if you want to watch a full video on the basics of investing, well, watch this video right here and click my video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. And as always, peace.